This video will show how to properly fill out a Medicaid CMS 1500 form.
Any instructions with a white background are fields that are not required to be filled in or are filled in depending on the situation.
Instructions that have a gold background are required to fill in. We will focus on required and some situational requirements.
Block 1A. Enter the recipient's Medicare number if applicable. This will come up again when the recipient's 11-digit Maryland Medical Assistance number is required in Block 9A.
Block 2. Enter the patient's recipient's last name, first name, and middle initial as it appears on the medical assistance card.
Block 9A. Enter the recipient's 11-digit Maryland Medical Assistance number exactly as it appears on the MA card. The MA number must appear in this block regardless of whether or not a recipient has other insurance. Medical assistance eligibility should be verified on each date of service by calling EVS. EVS is operational 24 hours a day, 365 days a year at this number.
Block 11. If the recipient has other third-party health insurance and the claim has been rejected by that insurance, enter the appropriate rejection code. For services not covered, enter K. For a lapse in coverage, enter L. For coverage not in effect on service date, enter M. For rejection because the individual is not covered, enter N. If the claim is not filed timely, enter Q. This requires documentation, like a copy of the rejection from an insurance company. If there is no response from the carrier within 120 days of the claim submission, the code is R. This also requires documentation. For other rejection reasons not defined, like a statement on the claim indicating that payment was applied to the deductible, the code is S. If information regarding recipient's coverage is needed, call third-party liability at this number.
Block 17. Completion of blocks 17 through 17B is only required for lab and other diagnostic services. Block 17A. Enter the ID qualifier 1D, which is the Medicaid provider number, followed by the provider's 9-digit Medicaid provider number.
Block 17B. Enter the MPI of the referring, ordering, or supervising provider listed in Block 17.
Block 21. Enter the applicable ICD indicator to identify which version of ICD codes is being reported. Enter the indicator between the vertical dotted lines in the upper right-hand portion of the field. Enter the 3 to 5 character code from the ICD-10 related to the procedures, services, or supplies listed in block number 24E. List the primary diagnosis on line A, with any subsequent codes to be entered on lines B through H. The highest level of specificity in priority order starts with line B. Additional diagnoses are optional and may be listed on lines I through L.
Block 23. For those services that require pre-authorization, a pre-authorization number must be obtained and entered in this block.
Block 24A through G. Report the NDC quantity when billing for drugs using the J code, HCPCS. Allow for the entry of 61 characters from the beginning of 24A to the end of 24G. Begin by entering the qualifier N4 and then the 11-digit NDC number.
It may be necessary to pad NDC numbers with left adjusted zeros in order to report 11 digits. Without skipping a space or adding hyphens, enter the unit of measurement qualifier followed by the numeric quantity administered to the patient. These are the measurement qualifiers when reporting NDC units.
F2 for international units, GR for grams, ML for milliliter, UN for each units, ME for milligram. You can go to this website for more information.
Block 24A. Enter each separate date of service as a 6-digit numeric under the From heading. For example, June 1st, 2020 would be 06/01/20. Leave the space under the To heading blank. Each date of service on which a service was rendered must be listed on a separate line. Ranges of dates are not accepted on this form.
Block 24B. For each date of service, enter the appropriate 2-digit place of service code listed below to describe the site.
Block 24D. Enter the 5-character procedure code that describes the service provided and the 2-character modifier if required.
Block 24E. Enter a single or combination of diagnosis items from lines A through H on block number 21 for each line on the invoice.
Block 24F. Enter the usual and customary charges. Do not enter the Maryland Medicaid maximum fee unless that is your usual and customary charge. If there is more than one unit of service on a line, the charge for that line should be the total of all units.
Block 24G. Enter the total number of units of service for each procedure. The number of units must be for a single visit or day. Multiple, identical services rendered on different days should be billed on separate lines.
24I. Enter the ID qualifier 1D, which is the Medicaid provider number. Block 24J. In the gray shaded area, enter the 9-digit MA provider number of the practitioner rendering the service. In some instances, the rendering number may be the same as the payee provider number in block number 33. Enter the rendering provider's NPI in the unshaded area.
Block 27. For payment of Medicare coinsurance and/or deductibles, this block must be checked yes. Providers agree to accept Medicare and/or Medicaid assignment as a condition of participation.
Block 28. Enter the sum of the charges shown of all lines on block number 24F of the invoice.
Block 29. Enter the amount of any collections received from any third-party payer, except Medicare. If the recipient has third-party insurance and the claim has been rejected, enter the appropriate rejection code in block number 11.
Block 32A, enter the facility's NPI number. Block 32B, in the gray shaded area, enter the ID qualifier 1D, the Medicaid provider number, followed by the facility's 9-digit Maryland Medicaid provider number.
Block 33, enter the name, complete street address, city, state, and zip code of the provider. This should be the address to which the claims may be returned.
Block 33A, enter the NPI number of the billing provider in block number 33. Errors or omissions of this number will result in non-payment of claims.
Block 33B, in the gray shaded area, enter the ID qualifier 1D, the Medicaid provider number, followed by the 9-digit MA provider number in block number 33. Errors or omissions of this number will result in non-payment of claims.